Hey, a look at Klay Thompson on the court. Mavs getting ready to host the Grizzlies tonight. Memphis falling to fourth in the West, surpassed by the Nuggets and the Lakers, just ahead of them. And our countdown crew joins us now. Our good friend Malika Andrews. Hey, Malika.
Hey, Hannah, thank you so very much. Welcome inside our Los Angeles studios. And you're absolutely right. There was a time this season, Stephen A. Smith, Chiney Ogwumike, Kendrick Perkins, that the Memphis Grizzlies, they sat in the number 2 seed. But right now, the talk of the town is the Los Angeles Lakers. They are the number 2 spot in the West. But Kendrick Perkins, I ask you, do they have the best shot in the conference at dethroning the Thunder when it comes to the postseason?
Hell yeah, they do. And not just because Luka is finally getting his rhythm and his legs beneath him, not just because J.J. Redick, in my opinion, is coach of the year, it's because they have the best basketball player in the NBA on their squad named LeBron James. And forget the fact that he was flirting with a 30-point triple-double. Forget the fact that his points per game, rebounds, and assists match up to his Miami days one year. It comes down to no one in the league could do what he does. I watched him last night play center and lock up Karl Anthony Towns, who shot 3 for 13. Right, guarding 1 through 5. He's getting it done on both ends of the floor. This man is one of the greatest to ever do it, and he's doing it at the highest level under Coach J.J. Redick alongside Luka.
Well, you just lost me with the coach of the year. I mean, I think he's a candidate for coach of the year. I'm not giving it to him over J.B. Bickerstaff. I saw Detroit was so bad last year. We contemplated whether or not the league should go to 29 teams instead of 30. That's how bad it was, okay? Oh, and now they've resurrected themselves. So let's look at it from that standpoint and give J.B. Bickerstaff some love. Having said all of that, J.J. Redick is doing a great job. LeBron James is doing a phenomenal job. Luka has got it going with his groove on. But in the end, the real reason why the answer to this question is undoubtedly the Los Angeles Lakers is because of what they're doing defensively, collectively, what they're doing, how they get out on shooters, how they're able to defend in the interior. And you got to remember, Hartenstein is not the greatest scorer in the world. It's not like it's Jokic that we're talking about here or a healthy Embiid. It's a different animal in Oklahoma City. But the Lakers are figuring it out, and I think that's what makes them the number 1 threat. The experience, their greatness, and their defense.
Oh, my gosh, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Stephen A. and not you, my brother from another mother. Perk. The reason why I think that the Lakers have the best shot at dethroning the Thunder is because, obviously, what Stephen A. said, the defense. I know we all have the same agreement. But if you think about the defense, that's what separates people. And watching the game last night, I think people were saying, okay, finally, Luka Doncic, he's getting his threes, his legs are under him. More importantly, he's digging down on defense. If you see him get in the stance, they didn't have to send double teams. They were trying to isolate him. Instead, he was playing solid defense. But overall, I'm looking at a squad that Luka and LeBron combined for 85% of their offense, scoring or assisting yesterday. Their defense is number 1 in the NBA. They have tremendous basketball IQ on both ends. They're coached extremely well, and the supporting cast is playing better alongside Luka and LeBron. All of those factors really help out.
I just wonder, though, if we talk about threat, just how big of a threat are they? The Thunder are head and shoulders above everybody else.
Nope, they're not. And here's the reason why. Because we're not talking about the regular season. It's the postseason that's the concern. Are these young thoroughbreds going to show up when it counts for OKC? It's not a guarantee. The Lakers could win the West. They could win the West.
They got culture. Their culture is
They got an
defense.
MVP.
It would carry.
They got an all-star. They got the number 1 defense.
It's a good thing we have an entire NBA countdown at the top of the hour to get into all of this. We've got 2 excellent Western Conference matchups.
30 Eastern. And NBA reporter Tim McMahon is on the scene live once again in Dallas tonight. Tim, we know that Kyrie Irving is out for the season, but the big men have had their injuries evaluated. So what's the latest that we know about who's coming back and when?
Howdy, Hannah. The updates from the Mavericks on Anthony Davis, Derek Lively II, and Daniel Gafford. Essentially, stay tuned for more updates. Anthony Davis, he's doing some dynamic on-court activity. Both him and Lively will be reevaluated in a week. Daniel Gafford's further out, frankly, more unlikely to be ready for the regular season. But at a certain point, the Mavericks situation could come into play on whether those guys return, even if they are healthy and ready to roll. For now, though, Jason Kidd said the Mavericks focus is on competing with the guys that they have and getting those bigs healthy.
Mavericks teetering between the play-in, the lottery. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But let's talk about the Grizzlies. They have fallen now to 4th in the West. They've lost 4 in a row. They've been passed by the Lakers and the Nuggets. What are the biggest challenges that the Grizzlies are facing as they try to hang on to that home court when the playoffs begin?
Yeah, the biggest challenge that they have is their all-star power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr., suffered a grade 2 ankle sprain. He's considered week to week, so they're going to be without him. He's a guy who, if he meets the minimum games played requirements, a likely All-NBA selection this year. Now, Ja Morant has been All-NBA in the past, has not played to that level this season, and he's dealing with soreness in his shooting shoulder, and it's really impacted him. He said after their last game he probably shouldn't have played. He will be in the lineup tonight, but he's having the worst shooting season of his career since the All-Star break, shooting 28% from the floor, 15% from three-point range. Obviously, they need Ja Morant to be at a superstar level to be in a position to get out of this funk and to make the playoff run.
Yeah, because the Houston Rockets, they're just a half a game back of the Grizzlies for home court in that first round. Tim McMahon, as always, we appreciate it. Live from Dallas. All right, look who is coming back to Sacramento tonight. Longtime Kings guard De'Aaron Fox returns for the first time with his new team, the Spurs. He got his wish to be traded to San Antonio to pair with Victor Wembanyama last month. But as you know, Wemby is out for the season, and the Spurs are out of the playoff picture in the West. Sacramento in that 9 spot right now. On the scene live in Sacramento is Spurs reporter Michael C. Wright. Michael, you were at shoot-around this morning. How's De'Aaron Fox approaching his return tonight?
Well, Hannah, let me take you back a couple of nights. I actually got to hang out with De'Aaron in the Spurs locker room, and we had a long conversation about his return to Sacramento. I'm sorry. But, you know, he said it's just a regular game. But at the same time, he was sort of like, you know, my whole life, I thought that I would be a guy that played for the same team his entire NBA career. And obviously that did not happen. So De'Aaron, he's a guy that came to Sacramento when he was 19 years old. He's had kids. He's gotten married. He's a grown man now. So this city essentially raised him. And that's what he talked about this morning. He said, yo, I came up here. I'm ingrained in this community. I love all the people. But at the same time, he is expecting some boos. And he said, you know what? That's fine. I don't have time for bitter people. So he's going to get a mixed reaction from this crowd here at the Golden One Center.
Yeah, it'll be emotional no matter what happens for him, I'm sure. Let's go to his teammate now, his new teammate, Victor Wembanyama, who unfortunately is out for the rest of the season. But how is Wemby continuing to make his presence felt around the Spurs organization?
Well, Hannah, Victor Wembanyama has been around the team at all the home games. He's been a fixture in that facility. As a matter of fact, he was at the meeting recently that Greg Popovich when he went to the locker room and had sort of a really inspiring speech. So you could just imagine the surprise, though, Thursday when they got on the plane to Sacramento and Victor Wembanyama was sitting there. Due to his diagnosis, you know, he's got that deep vein thrombosis, which is essentially a blood clot. He's not supposed to be flying, but I talked to a team official who told me that because of the specific medication that Victor Wembanyama is on, they feel that it's safe for him to fly. So I want to say this, not to expect Victor to be at all the road trips with the San Antonio Spurs.